To welcome everybody to this webinar. We're providing a great opportunity for LSI to demonstrate the reporting tool feature that is available to different colleges. And CVC OEI has had the pleasure of working with LSI for quite a while. We love supporting NetTutor as well as Pisces and providing different webinars and training events that meet your needs. And if there are additional types of trainings or workshops you would like to see in the future, send us an email at support@cvc.edu and I will put that in the chat. Or if you do have any suggestions or ideas, you can definitely put that in the chat. And then questions, any technical questions or tool questions, put that in the Q&A and the team will answer that. So Jessica Hurtado is the supervisor of student experience, and I'm Karen A., the program coordinator in student experience. And we're very happy to present the team at LSI to present this webinar. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Vinny Faris, and I'm the president of Link Systems, and I'm going to share my screen briefly here. And so, Robert, have you started to record?
Yes, it's recording now.
Okay. And so, what we're going to talk about today is, as most of you know, the CVC started picking up the cost of NetTutor for all colleges in the state when the pandemic hit in the middle of March. And now the number of hours allocated has been assigned to each college. And so lots of colleges are having questions about projections and forecasting. And one of the things about NetTutor is that we provide access to a reporting tool so that colleges can see all the sessions, they can see the students who are using the sessions, they can see the sessions by subjects. And so that's what today is about. We're going to demo the reporting tool. And then, some colleges are already NetTutor customers. And so this was sort of a benefit the state provided, but we'll just go back to our regular terms and conditions when your CVC hours run out. Some colleges have prepaid balances, and some colleges pay as you go. But if you're not a NetTutor customer, but started using NetTutor during the pandemic and wish to continue using NetTutor, we'll be able to sort of give you some guidelines on how to set that up with us here. And then, this should all take very, very short amount of time. The demo will be most of it, and then at the end, we're going to leave about 15 minutes to answer questions and things like that. So, Robert, you want to go ahead and take over screen sharing? Do I have to release screen sharing?
I think I can reclaim the host.
Yep. Well, I gave it to you there.
All right.
And I'll be answering questions in the Q&A as well.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So you should be seeing my screen now. It's going to look like I'm inside of the reporting tool. So I've already signed into one of the demo reporting tool accounts that we have. So right here, what I have loaded here is what you get when you search for your college or your university's NetTutor data between two dates. So here I've done for the current month, so since the start of October for the demo school that I have loaded. And the two types of usage breakdown that you'll get by default, you'll get a breakdown by the type of NetTutor session. So you can see how many dropped off question sessions you had, how many live sessions you had, and how many paper review sessions you had. And for each of those, you can see the number of sessions and the minutes for those. And you also see a breakdown by group. And the breakdown by group is usually just a breakdown by subject. So you can see how many accounting sessions you had versus how many math sessions you had. And all these columns are sortable. So for example, if you wanted to see the different subjects and how many sessions you have and sort by the sessions, you can do that. All of these reports are also downloadable, so you can see that you have an option to download this table as a CSV file or an Excel file, or just copy the data. If you want to just copy into like Notepad or something like that, you're able to do that. And you can also see breakdowns. If you click on one of these buttons, you can see a breakdown by student, and you can see a breakdown by course as well. So for example, as we'll show you for each course, how many NetTutor sessions were coming from that course, or for each student, how many NetTutor sessions were coming from that student. So it's loading both of those right now. And you can see also that the session numbers are linked. So if I pulled up, if I clicked on this 9 here, that will actually pull up a list of the 9 sessions for that particular course. And then on this page, I can see a bunch of different details about the session. So I can see who the student was, the subject of tutoring that they went for, the type of tutoring that they went for, whether it was like a live session or a paper review. And you can also watch a video playback of the session, or if it's an asynchronous, so a question drop-off or a paper drop-off, you can view the feedback provided. So you have access to see the sessions as well. And you can do this for any of these different categorizations. So, you know, if you just wanted to pull up a list of all of the live sessions, you can do that by clicking on this 133 here as well. And if you want to change it so that you can see, for example, last month's data, you can go back here, update the calendar to go from 9/1 to 9/30 and select to get stats, and that will pull up the data for last month. So you can see, you know, you can see month to date, you can see the current day, you could see last month's data, or any other month from the year, or even last year if you wanted. And it will show the different breakdowns for all of that. So you can see here. So that's mainly what I want to show. Is there anything else that you wanted me to point out, Vince?
Nope, I think that's good.
All right, I'll stop sharing my screen then.
Okay.
And I'm going to make you the host again.
Yep. And then just really briefly, Karen, I see that you said you wanted to answer about the sending participants to recording. Did you just want to?
Oh, sure. Yes, we are recording this, and then we'll follow up with closed captioning and get email addresses from Vince later and be able to send this out. We also host it on our @One YouTube channel. So I just wanted to mention that.
Great. Okay. I should share my screen before I start doing the presentation again. Okay, so you know, each college has a certain number of allocated minutes. There's obviously member schools, and then there are non-member schools, and either way, if you have any questions, you can write to the support email at CVC, and they will answer questions about the minutes. You can use the reporting tool as Robert just demonstrated to review your past usage, and then you use that to project your future usage. You know, you can always ask your contacts, including me at Link Systems, to sort of help you with that. All of the billing is based on that reporting tool. So if you have been a customer, you know, any invoice you've ever got from us would show a certain number of minutes. You would be able to run your own report for that same month. And of course, nobody's gotten a bill from us since the middle of March. But you know, our invoicing is tied to the reporting tool. That's the reporting tool we use. You know, we will say, and we're happy to talk about it in this meeting. You know, people ask us, well, how long will my hours last? And of course, what your usage was like last year changed drastically when all the students were sent home and had to go online. And, you know, we are having our busiest time ever this fall, as now colleges had the summer to prepare, and online tutoring, whether it's through Star California, which is a collaboration of California Community College who's sharing their tutors online, whether the colleges are putting their own tutors online with Pisces, our platform, or other platforms, or NetTutor. You know, so we're trying to help the best we can with the estimation, but it's definitely an art, not a science. And then you know, figuring out how long your hours will last. We know that some colleges have already run out of hours through September, and putting together a plan to help make sure that your students keep access to our service. For those of you who don't have a formal relationship with us, our contract is with the foundation. Anybody can piggyback off that contract. You can do a contract with us, or you can simply send us a purchase order referencing the foundation of the contract. And so, you know, if you're a CVC school, you definitely have access to NetTutor through CVC. We have some new customers who have just started to sign up. And then some of you might be not a direct customer. And again, you can reach out to us directly, and we'll help you figure out what your school's contract status is. And it's not always easy to tell, because some schools have contracts with us, but they might be with a Gear Up program or with some other TRIO program, or maybe the tutoring center has it, or maybe one of the tutoring centers does, but the other tutoring centers don't. So we'll help you reconcile all of that with each school individually. And again, you know, some colleges were prepaying for usage and their balance sheets were frozen. And so we'll just go back to deducting the minutes off their balance sheet once they run out. And some colleges were paying monthly for usage each month, and those invoices will start up again once your CVC hours run out. And so with that, you know, I guess, Robert, do you have the ability to give people the microphone if they have a question and raise their hand, or how does that work?
I know we see them inside the Q&A box. I'm seeing if I do have the ability to do that for an attendee. I think the webinars might restrict it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, when I hover over people, I don't see the option to let them have the mic. But we should be able to all see the questions in the Q&A panel. I want to just read them out loud.
Can everybody see every Q&A, or do only we see the Q&A?
I think it's just us that sees the Q&A.
Oh, everybody sees it.
All right, good.
Anonymous attendee. So you know, I'll just talk a little bit out loud as I even type the answer. So the integration is typically done through Canvas. It can also be done through your student system. And once that integration happens, usually the IT team is out of the equation, and we work directly with either the learning center, or sometimes a distance education coordinator, or sometimes there's a dean or VP who controls the service. So whoever the school designates as sort of the senior official to work the details with us, they get to pick who has access to the reporting tool. They determine what subjects are turned off and on. They determine whether asynchronous writing is allowed. And so there's a lot of the details. And sometimes it'll be a dean or a VP, but then they'll assign somebody to sort of handle those day-to-day questions. Yeah, and you see the student information, Robert, but I don't know that we specifically put who the tutor was in this reporting tool, do we?
No, the tutor information isn't in the reporting tool.
That's right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, I have over 10, I see. So, all right, I'm just gonna, I'll answer these. I'll type the answers for people after the fact, but so no, you do not see the tutor. Yeah, and Carol, I posted previously, somebody asked in the answer questions, Chuck Myers is the West Coast sales rep, and I put his email in the Q&A. So Amy, you can write to support@cvc.edu, and they should have already told you what the allocated hours were for your college, but you can get that information directly from CVC. The clock on allocated hours started July 1, that is correct. The allocated hours are what you were allocated, so that's what you have. And whatever you've used since July 1st has been subtracted from it. And if there's leftover, those will roll into, if you're a non-CVC member, those hours run through July 31st. If you're a CVC member, those hours roll through June 30th. Great. Okay. Are there any other questions that anybody has? I don't see any. Bartati, the hours, the allocated hours were effective July 1, when the academic year started. Well, I got that one here. The statewide rate is $23 an hour, and those are billed in 1 minute increments. So if a tutor spends 15 minutes with a student, you get billed for 1/4 of an hour. And yep, if you're a CVC member, the allocated hours will be from July 1 to June 30. If you're a non-CVC member, they're from July 1 to December 31st. That is it. I'll wait here and see if anybody else has any other questions to type into the chat. Yeah, to create a login, the best thing to do is to open a support ticket on the NetTutor website. There's a support link, and then we'll create you a login for your reports. You can always reach out to Chuck Myers, whose contact information, Amy and Maria. So if you want to get access to your credentials, or if you want to make sure that we have the right lead for tutoring at your school, Chuck's always a great place to start. And then Karen, there's a question about the consortium changing the allocated hours. I don't know if that's something you probably should just write to the support email directly to talk about changing your allocated hours. Yeah, don't recommend putting individual limits on student usage, but there are ways that can be done. Currently, most schools allow students to access it as much as they need it. But if there's and we do have the ability, if somebody appears to be using it too much, we do have the ability to govern individual students, or we can figure out how to put just, global limits on students. But like I said, in general, we advise against it, because, if a student needs it, and it's typically, the 80-20 rule, 20% of your students are going to use 80% of the tutoring. And, we're not the resource, but we're a resource, and we're especially beneficial to students because we're able to be online 24/7. And so even in a school's best case scenario, it's really hard for them to provide online services 24 hours a day. So anybody else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much for participating. And oh, wait a minute, I got one more. Oh. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Take care, everyone.